Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and for the next installment of Halloween Treat Week. So I did this a couple of years ago and we're revisiting some ideas and some new ideas, and we're using Ghostly Greetings, which is the new Graphic 45 spooky collection that they've brought out recently. So we've already had a look at making some slimline lanterns. We've made some crackers as well, some slim crackers. And we've also had to go making a larger lantern for bags of sweets. And so I moved away from the patterns and solids and I've moved to the 12 by 12 collection now. But the 12 by 12 collection also has patterns and solids in it. So I'm going to be making the most out of a sheet of this by making 4 fun little cube little treat holders, and these hold a Lindor. You could stuff some shredded paper in there as well if you wanted to make it spookier, or a Ferrero Rocher, that type of sized sweet would fit into these. So that's where we're going to head, and there's no closure or anything, it just tucks in like so. So we're going to be cutting 5 1/4 inch squares from this paper. Let me cut off the name strip. So I can make it 12 by 12. Now, I've got a feeling these words go diagonal at the moment. Oh, and you do want a paper that's non-directional for this. Otherwise, your images and things are going to end up upside down. So 5 1/4 inch squares. So 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. There we go. And I could cut the next one ready while I'm here. Yeah, so the wording on this is non-directional. It's going diagonal things. But I think once it's done, the wording may be going across and up because we work with the scoreboard on a diagonal. So I've got my 5 1/4 inch square. I'll work on on the front is going to be easier to see. The black is not going to be quite nice. So we're going to place the edge of our paper at so we start at the center, we work out. So we're working out to 1 1/2 inches. And we're going to stop once our paper gets to 1 1/2, like so. And I'm going to press down on that tab button and find there's a little channel here, and it'll take us to make a score line diagonally, so you can see it here. So you can follow it from there and it takes you inside there. And then we're going to slide our paper to 3 1 2 3/4. And again, punch and score. So you can see that score line coming down there. Now, it's up to you. You can keep measuring, or you have this little notch here, this score guide they call it. If you match that score line with, let me get some Distress ink, and if I'm going to line it up there and press and score. And there's another one here. So lined it up and score. We can do the same all the way around. So I'm just looking for that score line. I don't think you are going to be able to see it very well, but I can see it there. And it's just lined up to that notch. And then the last one lined up and punch and score. So you've then got this sort of shape. So it's a square with 2 notches out of every side. So you've got, if I turn it over, lots and lots, if I go in a diamond, squares all across here, and these quite strange triangles. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut up to the first score line. So I've got one of the diamonds, doesn't matter which one because this is a square box, pointing towards me. And then on the opposite side, again, the same, just cutting up and stopping at that score line. So what I'm creating is lots of squares, a cross of squares. And now I'm going to choose one of my flaps, doesn't matter which one, and round it off. So this is going to be my lid. That's why we've got that nice round bit. And we're going to fold all of our tabs and score lines towards the center. There we go. Oh, in fact, do you know what? I didn't do it on the other ones, but I think it'll look nice if we tab the opposite one as well. There we go. Because this one will come up and that's what's going to stick on the front like that. So having it curved is going to look quite nice, I think. Okay. So when we have our box assembled, this will be the top. So these two then will be the side flaps. So what I want to do is have my curved one off to the right, and I'm going to fold it over and just burnish it down a bit, and I'm going to do the top one as well. So I'm keeping these two flaps out. I'm going to grab my trimmer, I'm going to line up the top with the top of my trimmer, and this line I'm going to go back to the 1/2 inch mark. And what I'm going to do is cut those two off. So when you look in the box, that's what we've done then, is those two little flaps. Just reduces the bulk down. Okay. And then just take some time and we're going to use some black soot distress ink around everything. I'm going to distress it all. Every edge, every score line is going to be distressed. And I said the wording would end up going left and right rather than diagonal. Okay, we can do the tabs. And so we're going to go around everything. And this curved bit. And there we go. All inked up. So let's turn it inside out. So this, as I said, is going to be the top. These are the sides. So what we're going to do, first of all, is we're going to glue the sides in. So I'm going to lift these two bottom pieces, grab some glue, and I'm just going to add some glue to that tab there. And we're going to bring them in, and it's going to glue onto that one, like so. And then we're going to glue this onto the base. So we can bring the base of the box up, like so. So we've got our 3 flaps here ready to glue to make the front. I find it easier to bring that in now so that we have the completed box in place. You don't want to glue anything onto that. So I'm just going to glue, that's going to come onto there. I'm going to put some glue onto the back, sort of pointy bit there and the pointy bit there, so that we have our adhesion there. And now this flap, don't put glue in that bit because there's an empty space. We're going to bring that up and just open it up gently and squeeze from the inside. It's harder to explain than do. When you're doing it, it makes sense. You'll know what to do. It'll sort of make itself. But keep that one inside so it keeps the box shape, so you know how big it needs to go and how you can make it a little bit tight for it. And there we go. That is your little spooky cube. Perfect for a little Lindor, Ferrero Rocher. And as I said, you get 4 out of your 12 by 12 sheet. Plus you've got a little bit spare off the end. So if you're going to make some of the other ones, you could make it out of black cardstock and use this to decorate, just to make the most out of your papers as well. But a nice simple cube, a nice simple box, no fastener needed, no ribbon. So if you're like me, you're not very good at making bows and you just do knots, this one's a lovely one. As I said, you could then decorate it and cut out some squares. If you're going to make squares, you would do probably about 1.5 inches. Is this 1.5? Yeah. Let's cut this out. So imagine I've made that box out of black cardstock. I would then be able to decorate all this with 1.5 inch squares around the outside. So there we go. So that is day 4 of Halloween Treat Week completed. Now, if you do have a go at some of these ideas, I would love to see your version. So please consider joining my Facebook group. It's called Paper Crafting with Paul. You'll find a link in the description below, or just type in Paper Crafting with Paul into the search engine on Facebook and it'll pop up. Because I'd love to see your versions, and you get a chance to have a look at what other people have made following my tutorials too. So thank you for watching. Please do leave a comment and thumbs up, and if you want to know when the next one is up, hit that subscribe button so you get the notification. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.